Okay, so if you take a look at this graph, or sorry, this tree diagram, if I say, hey, I got insider information, I know that the second marble that was drawn was white. Is everything possible still then? No. The possible changed. Not everything was possible. If everything was possible, then all of these answers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 answers, all 9 were possible. And as soon as I said, hey, by the way, the second marble drawn was white, then that means it couldn't have been this, and it couldn't have been this, and it couldn't have been that, and it couldn't have been that, and it couldn't have been that, and it couldn't have been that. Do you get what I'm saying? Now it's down to only 3 things. Then that's what it's out of, and those 3 things go on the bottom of your fraction. And then if I say, what's the probability that it was white, white? I know the second marble was white. What's the probability it was white, white? Well, white, white's right here. And I would multiply those out and put that on top. And is that the final answer? No. You got to divide by what was possible. The 3 things that were possible were this, and this, and this. All right, now I'm going to make you a new one that I want it to be about you. Imagine that you had 3 different choices for camp. Your parents were just like, you know what? A lot of other families around here are sending their kids to camp. I want to send you to a summer camp if you want to go to one. We have one that's a horse camp, where you'd get to ride horses and learn how to jump horses and that kind of stuff. Another one would be a paintball camp, where you would like do paintball like for 8 days, and you'd get to learn some different battle strategies and that kind of stuff. And then the last one is going to be a, oh, I don't know, let's make it a, he says fishing. He wants a fishing camp. What else would you want? Food camp? You just eat the whole time? All right, fine, I'm doing it because I don't want to waste any more time. Food camp. Let's make it somewhat educational. You don't just eat, you actually learn how to prepare some foods. Like, if you haven't watched the Marvel movies, you might not know this word, but shawarma? All right, anyway, it's a food. You might learn how to make shawarma. Oh, you know shawarma? Ah. Okay, awesome. Experienced with shawarma. Tony Stark says it in one of the movies. He says, like, hey, we should go out for shawarma or something like that. And in one of the movies. Anyway, not the most recent one. That is not a spoiler because that's been out for a long time. All right, so if there's food camp, there's horse camp, and then there's, what's the last one? Paintball. B. I mainly needed to just pick things that are different letters, so there we go. Okay. What do you think are the chances? How many of you, if you got to pick, would pick the, let's start with the food camp. You better be in on that one. It was your idea. So who all would take the food camp? Learn how to cook and eat different foods. Oh, come on.
I just wanted to eat.
All right, there's a few. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, good. That's 7 out of, and then how many? We're going to say that there's 30 of you in here, just to make life easy. Next is H. That's horse camp. How many of you would pick the horse camp option? You want to learn to ride and jump on horses and that kind of stuff. All right, only 2. I was surprised. I thought they'd be more popular. And by default, the rest of you, you are opting for paintball camp. Way to go. So there is 21 out of 30. Get how I didn't even have to ask on that one? I didn't want to because some of you are like, I want out of this thing. All right. So what we're doing here is called conditional probability. Now, do you get that at some point your parents are going to send you to a camp, and sometimes kids don't get sent to the camp that they want to go to because, like, oh, sorry, horse camp was full. You're going to food camp. So you're going to either love it, hate it, or be okay with it. You're going to love it, hate it, or be okay with it. You're going to love it, hate it, or be okay with it. All right. So now I'm going to arbitrarily pick that like 20% of kids would just love the camp. 20% of kids would just hate the camp. And that leaves how much left for be okay with the camp? Be okay. Be okay. Sorry. And that's 60. Yep. You get how we didn't have to have all the numbers. We could kind of figure out what the last number has to be. That's going to be a theme today. You can often figure out what the last number has to be. All right. So we're going to go with 20, 20, 60, 20, 20, 60. Okay. So now I don't need you to figure out all of these numbers. I need you to figure out a few of them. You'll need a calculator to do some of them. This is rows 1 and 2. I usually go from this side. Row 1, you're figuring out the first two things, which is FL and then FH. Row 2, you are figuring out the next two things, which is FOK and HL. You guys are row 3. You are figuring out, this is row 3. You're figuring out HH and HBOK. This was row 1, by the way, in case you haven't figured out the pattern here. And row 4, that's you guys. Row 4, you are figuring out. Actually, I've got enough rows left that I can do this, make this faster, because you have less time anyways. Row 4, you're doing this. Row 5, you're doing this. Row 6, you're doing this. Row 4, 5, 6. Okay, so the people at the beginning, I'm counting on you to be able to handle 2 rows. Now, it is true that today is actually mostly about Venn diagrams. But I find most kids are pretty good at Venn diagram questions, and they get these wrong on the test more. So that's why we're spending extra time on this stuff. Because this is where conditional probability is found a lot, and they're not easy. Okay, so row 1, can you tell me what FL is? And I'm going to summarize it by saying FL. That means you went to food camp and you loved it. Point what? KH. A little louder. 046. Can anybody verify that number? Okay, good. And the second one, the next one after that, would you tell me again, KH? Is it the same exact thing? What is the exact same thing? So that's FH.046 again. Okay. There, row 1, you have done your job. Row 2. Now, everybody can copy those first 2 down. Row 2, Miss Shawarma expert, Miss T. What'd you get for FBOK? Oh, that sounds really bad, FOK. How about we go FBOK? That'll be better. Okay, what did you get for that one? 0.14? All right. Okay, and how about this one, which was HL? Got that one? Do you have that one, Mr. D? HL? 013? That is a really tiny percentage. Well, I guess it makes sense because very few kids were going to horse camp anyways. All right. Then we got HH. The Hubert H. Humphrey Metrodome. That's going over to row 3 now. You, sir, in the front row. 013. Oh, looks like it's the same. Awesome. And then the last one should be definitely higher. Let's go with Miss U. That was HBOK 0. Say it one more time. 004? Oh, 0.04. I get it. Never say the 0 in front. 0.04. Okay. And then rows 4, 5, and 6. Row 4, can I have a volunteer who will read me row 4? Come on, somebody step up. Row 4. Yes, thank you. 0.14. As for P, L. And one more. I should keep green, stay consistent. PL 0.14. And then there's pH. Next row. That's you guys. Can you tell me, Mr. H? Oh, it's the same. Thank you. And then last but not least, PBOK. And you, sir. Can anybody verify that? In that row, is that what you guys got? Okay, good. Okay, awesome. Now, here's where it gets more challenging. That, first of all, took a while, didn't it? You're going to have to make one of those. Make one mistake in it. Can you ever catch it? Well, it's hard to catch it. I could tell you this. If you added all of these up, what would they have to add up to? Exactly. I just drew through a line, so I have to fix that. All the way around there, and including all of those. If you added them all up, it adds up to 1.0. Do you get with some rounding issues, you might have it by accident add up to 0.99? You know what I mean? You have to, if you goof up the rounding slightly, or even if you round accurately, there's a chance still that you could be off a smidge. Just be, anyway, long story. So how about we just say this? If you are way off of 1, then you know you messed up somewhere. At least you could check it that way. All right, so here's your probability questions, except I'm going to use symbols to see if you learned the symbols. P of H slash P. I know this is going to cause some confusion. Think it through. Tell the kid next to you what you think it is. And by the way, that slash, that means given. The probability of HH given P. I'm hearing it. I'm hearing a lot of that doesn't make sense. Or 0. Yes, those are both right answers. It's 0. If you say it for sure was P, then you were at paintball camp. What's the probability that you were having a great time at the horse camp? Or no, hating. That was hating horse camp, sorry. What's the probability you were hating horse camp if given you were at paintball camp? It's impossible. 0% chance. All right. So now, how about this one? This is the given part. That's the part about that's the part where we're doing the conditional probability. That's the new thing for today. So what if I said, what's the probability of FH given H? Now, uh-oh, there's 2 H's. This is not good. Because there's H for horse camp, and there's also H for hate. So I better not say given H, because you can't tell if it was H for horse camp or H for hate. So I'm going to say FH given, there's only one kind of F, isn't there? Yes, there is. Given F. Probability of FH, which is you're at food camp and hating it. Given F, which, what does a given F mean? You are going to food camp. That's what that means. Given that you're going to food camp, then what's the probability of FH? So here's the common mistake answer. People go, oh, 0.046 is the answer because that's FH. Nope. The answer is not 0.046. No. Given you are going to food camp, as soon as I said given, do you remember that that changes what? What does given change? Changes to what's possible. So if given changes to what's possible, not everything is possible anymore. If I said given given F right here, then that means these were the only things that were possible. So it's this out of this plus this plus this. Those were what was possible. And what we wanted was that. So it's 0.046 divided by 0.046 plus 0.046 plus 0.14. Now, I want you to actually do it. Figure out that answer because it will be interesting. I'll explain why in a minute. Try to find that answer. Get the final answer for me. Point something. If it's 0.198, would you agree that that pretty much rounds to 0.2? Then why does that actually make sense? Yes? All right. I like the way you said that. I'm going to just repeat what you said. If you're going to go to food camp anyway, you know for sure that you are going to food camp. You're already going this way. Uh-oh. My smartboard is frozen. I've pushed it beyond what it can handle. There we go. You're already going this way. Then it's just these three probabilities left. And which one do you want? You want FH, so they want that one. That's why the answer is 0.2. Now, you don't even have to understand that part. What you have to understand is that what you wanted was FH. That goes on top. What's possible goes on the bottom. And some of you are going to understand this connection that, oh, that's the same as this. Cool. And you don't have to, though. What you have to be able to handle is what you want goes here. What's possible gets added up down there. All right, here's another one like that. You should be able to do this one quicker. Given that you are loving the camp that you're at, what's the probability it's horse camp? Given that you are loving the camp that you're at, what's the probability you're at horse camp? I'm going to pause for a second. I'm going to try that one. Okay, if it's given that you're loving it, then do you get these are the things that are possible? Given changes what's possible. These are the only three things that are possible. Raise your hand if you knew that. You had that in your answer. Awesome. Those three things get added up and they're on the bottom. 0.046 plus 0.013 plus 0.14. And then, what's the probability you're at horse camp? Well, that would be this one. 0.013. When you actually divide them, you will find out something interesting. Raise your hand if you got an answer and you're pretty confident in it. All right. There's 4 guys raising their hand. There's no girls. Come on, some of you girls step up, be confident. If you got an answer, you probably did it right, unless you typed wrong in the calculator, and it's okay if you're wrong. All right, can you tell me an answer? Can anybody verify 0.065? All right, a lot of people are verifying now. Okay, so 0.065. I want to know, what's that the same as? Mind if I try something? Anybody verify? Can anybody see what it is? What do you think it is? What's it the same as? Yeah, it's this one. That's the same answer as what we just got. Why? Because if we take that you're for sure loving it, then this one wasn't even a choice anymore. Do you get this isn't even a choice? If you for sure are loving it, there wasn't any choice there. And the only choice was which camp you were at. That's why you could have got this answer without all of that work. All right. And then again, I know some of you aren't going to catch that way, and it's okay. You don't have to do them that way. It's a great way to check yourself if you do understand that. All right. 12 minutes left. Time to get into the homework. And before we actually turn to the homework, here's the last thing I want to teach. If you have a Venn, and let's say this is piano, and this is a dog, and I have 8, 4, 7, and there's 5 people out here. That's going to make a total of 19, 24 people. Is it always out of 24? No. Because I could say, I only asked people with a piano, and then all of a sudden, now what's it out of? It's out of 12 now, not out of 24. What if I said, I only asked people that did not have a dog? What's it out of now? The 8 and the 5 makes 13. It's out of 13 now. All right, so how would they say that with symbols? Here's a typical question for today. See if you can handle it. Probability of piano given dog not. Boo. Hint. First, if they say given that something happened, scribble out the part that can't exist. As soon as they said given, this is the symbol for given. Sometimes they write it out with the word given, which is much nicer. Given not dog, that means not dog means it can't be these people, and it is the 8 and the 5. Those are the two things that are possible. Are you with me so far? Okay. Now, what's the probability of P? Well, there's how many people total that we could pick from? 8 plus 5, which is 13. Probability of the P. Do you get some people want to put 12 out of 13? Why can't I include that 4? It's not in the possible. So it's only 8 out of 13. Do you get once you've crossed things out, these are not possible. Don't use the 4, don't use the 7. All right, I'm going to give you one that's similar to that. Ready? It's going to be the opposite. Given not piano, what's the probability of dog? Given not piano. That means given. If I say given, I've changed the denominator. It's not out of 24 kids anymore. If I said not piano, then it can't be these guys, can it? And you can't use the 4 or the 8 anymore. Now it's dog, which is, of the ones that are left, it's 7 out of, well, the only ones I can use are 7 and 5, which is 12. If you cross off the right ones, these become easy. Raise your hand if you had 7 out of 12. All right, awesome. Now this last kind is the trickiest. I'm not going to do a given. I'm going to do a union or an intersect. What is piano, union, dog? I thought it was going to be pug for a second there, but no. I love pugs. But it's a pud. A union is a big answer, hint, hint. And did I ever say given? No. Then it's out of 24. Remember, unless they say given, you take it out of the total. There's 24 possibilities. There's 24 people you could have asked. And what do I want? A union. Those are big answers. That's all of these together. Did you say 19 out of 24? Raise your hand if you had that one right. Awesome. And now how about if I say, this is harder, because it's really hard to do not. Not P union D. Whoa. Notice I didn't say given. I just want to see where, what is the union of not P and D? So where is not P? Try shading these, it really helps. I do agree that's a not P, and so is that a not P. Both of those. I'm shading them, I'm not crossing them out. I should have circled them, that would be better. That's a not P, and that's a not P. Where are the D's? I'm going to use blue for those. These are both the D's. Does union mean I see where they overlap? No. That would have been intersection. Union means a big group and everybody who got invited gets to come. If you invited with blue or green, they all get to come. So we put them all together, and the 5 and the 4 makes 9 plus 7 is 16 out of, did I ever say given? No, so it's out of 24. That is the toughest kind. I just added up the 7 and the 4 and the 5. And I took it out of the total, which is 24. Question, yes? Okay. Would you, first of all, let's make sure you agree with the blue and the green. The green was the not P's. Are you agreeing with this is a not P and this is a not P? Sorry, this is a not P. Are you with me on that? Okay. Are you with me that the blue ones, the 7 and the 4, that those are both the dogs? And you really want to just have the intersection of the two. That's what your brain wants to do, is where do they overlap, and you want to use the 7. That's what most people do anyway. What you should be doing is all of them, because union means all of them. Remember, unions are big answers. It's the 4 and the 7 and the 5. A union means anybody who is in the group. And the 7 and the 4 and the 5 are all in the group. So it's all 3 of them. Yes? Yes. But not P was just this. This is not P. Will you agree that these two are not P's? This one is part of the dog group. The blue one, these guys are both part of the dog group. I know. Okay. First of all, my answer is right. I'm not messing you up because I'm giving you a wrong answer. This is the right answer. We're doing this right. So, how about if I did this? What if I gave out a card to a bunch of people and invited you to my graduation party? I'm graduating from my master's degree, and I gave it out to like 7 people. Okay? Then all of those 7 people are in my little group. Okay? Let's say that Mr. Heaton is also giving out graduation, like he's ever giving a grad party, and he hands them out to like 7 people. Do you get, some people might get both invitations? If it's a union, then it's everybody who got invited by anyone. If it's a union, it's everybody who got an invite. Didn't the 4s get an invite? Yeah, because they're part of the dog group. That's why they're in the group, because they got invited by the dogs. As long as you got an invite from either one, you get to come. It's sort of like if he and I decide to do a grad party together, then, like, hey, let's do it together. You guys heard of that before? People would do a grad party together. It's really actually pretty slick, because then only one person has to, like, have a yard ready and all that stuff. If anybody got an invitation, they get to come. That's a union. If you got an invitation from either one, you get to come. You don't have to invitation from both. By the way, what would that be? It would be an intersection. If you had to have an invite from both people, which would be kind of a cruel way to do the party, but then this would have had to be intersect. If that was intersect, then it would have only been the 7. And your answer would have been 7 out of 24 if this had been a intersect. All right, that is the toughest one. You're going to get smarter before we take this test. So your assignment is to do the first 3 questions on the sheet. I know there's multiple parts, but that does cut off a chunk. All you have to do is the first 3 problems on tonight's homework. So it's problems 1, 2, and 3. That includes making a Venn diagram. Yes. I get what you're saying. And yes, there is one where you have to make a Venn diagram. And honestly, that is the hardest on the test. I have found kids struggle with making the Venn diagram more than anything. So let's actually go to that one. Would you tell me what the 3 things are? It's desktop, laptop, I can't remember. Tablet, thank you. Here's where you should put desktop. And here's where you should put laptop. And here's where you should put tablet. You know why you should put them in that order? Is there any math reason why you have to do that? No, it's because that's how we did it on the key. And it'll be a lot easier for you to like compare your answer to our answer if you put them in that order. You know what I'm saying? Because the person who made the key did that. On the test, you could do it any way order you want, and it's a pain in the butt for me because I gotta be able to adjust my head to like, oh, their laptops are over here, and anyway. But for this, just because it's your homework, I would do it the same as they did on the key. Now tell me on that desktop, laptop, tablet thing, would you tell me, they told you, have you got it up? Okay, awesome. Can you tell me which one they told you? They either told you desktop or laptop or tablet, I can't remember. Can you read what it says? How many people had? Okay, that's 300 total. I'm putting that up in the upper left-hand corner. That's the total of everything. Do you get when you get it down to only 1 space left? Then you know it has to add up to 300. That's how you get the last space. Okay. We don't need the 300 yet. What's the one where it says there's this many people with desktops? Okay, 187? Yeah. 187. Notice me not putting it here. Do you get why? Because these all together have to add up to 187. So don't put it in the big empty spot there. Put it off to the side here. Would you tell me the next one? They either tell me tablets or desktops. I can't remember. It says 141 homes had tablets. Okay, 141 here. Notice me not putting it here. That would not be right. Because 141 is all 4 of those added up to 141. All right, stay caught up. This is where you could start getting lost in probability. Get your homework done, and you won't get lost. That's all I got for you for today.